program is produced by Break Tru Tv at gmail.com. We are a live stream service, and Break Tru covers, we do live stream for wedding, funerals, parties. We also got the reggae jam jerk chicken. You can try that as well. As I say, we do a live stream. We do your funerals, whatever services you need, we will actually cater for that. And this program is going out live. I am right here live in the studio. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. As I say, it's a program about what's on your mind. And we always sort of look at, the news or what is going on in the news. So we'll start with that. And then we go to what's on your mind. Also hoping to talk to somebody probably about in the next half an hour. So he'll actually tell us what's on his mind, yeah? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay. So, let me start by looking at a few things that's been happening in the news. Start with a very sad story. The story of Deshaun Reed, the 14-year-old that was killed, murdered in Birmingham on bank holiday. And it is alleged before he was murdered, he was racially abused. And 5 men are now in court charged with murdering him. And as I say, 5 men, but I think there's a 14-year-old and also a 16-year-old and a 35-year-old man and also a 38-year-old man. So, as you know, that is just the news. And as I said, he was racially abused before they murdered him. And there has been, on Sunday gone, there was a candlelit vigil for him, his family. Also, prayers were said for his family where he was actually murdered. So that is a case that will actually go into court. And as I always say, we wait and see. Yeah? Or as I say, we like to say, once again, big condolence to his family. We saw his mother. She was in, such terrible way. You know what I mean? And as I say, all we can say, we pray for that wonderful lady and his family. Coming from Break Tru TV and myself. Moving on. British, African, Caribbean people are 9 times more than their Caucasian counterpart to be stopped and searched. Figures showed that the percentage has gone up 53 times. The rise in England and Wales since 2019 and going up to 2020. More than 560,000 people has been stopped and searched. And I don't have any problem as such with stop and search as long as it's done correctly and it's done proportionately. So, that's all. Because sometimes you got people who does, naughty things or doing things, knife, guns and all the rest of it, and these people has got to be dealt with. But, as long as it's done proportionately, then there's no problem with that. Moving on. Some information from Sky News. And COVID case in England soar by 71.5% in a week in England. So, it makes you wonder, is Boris Johnson going to delay the June 21st restriction? And I think it's gonna be up to the data, what the data say, before he can actually deal with it. And as I say, the Prime Minister always relies on the data. So, you know, we'll see how that one. I know there's a lot of people. We see how that one coming to being, because I know we see a lot of people is excited, and the lockdown is slowly easing in the UK. You know, if you're not tuning in from the UK, we're slowly easing out of the lockdown. But we'll actually see how quickly we sort of go back to what a lot of people call normality. I laugh. It's not funny, but I always laugh. My impression is that, you know, things are never going to be normal again. You know what I mean? So that's it. Moving on to another part of the world, which is actually Canada. In Canada, a lot of people in Canada are mourning because they have found remains of 215 people from the indigenous population. And as I say, and some of those are children. And they're all, some of them was only 3-year-old. And they found them at a school, Kamloops residential school. And this has happened a while back. So that is going to be a very, very big investigation over there in Canada. And once again, we say, you know, when it's children involved, you have to say, you know what I mean, big condolence to the family and all those children, you know what I mean, of what's happened to them. And I say that's going to probably been happening for such many years that has happened. So we'll have to sort of get involved in that again and see if they can, how long it will take to actually sort out. Moving on, the New York Times has said, I know I shouldn't laugh. It appears the magician has run out of tricks. This is what the New York Times said. And this is said about the peer of, you know, Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel Prime Minister. The fact that the opposition has formed an agreement to, you know, to form a government and to get him from power. But, you know, Benjamin Netanyahu has been there a long time. You know what I mean? And he's a very tough guy. And it's going to be very, very hard to actually remove him from power. So he's not gonna give up that easily. You know, he's not gonna give up that easily. That's it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this program. You know what I mean? We are, as I said, we are live stream, broadcasting live directly now from where we are broadcasting in the heart of Birmingham. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Moving on, traveling. UN news, and this is global travel is down 60%. And the air industry has lost $370 billion. But you know what? The only thing I want to say about that, because I know, you know, I don't know if you guys know what I'm going to say. The only thing I'm going to say about that, if they've lost so much money, can you imagine when we want to travel again or we want to go somewhere else, how much it's going to cost us? Because that price is going to go up. Somebody's going to have to pay. And it's going to, the poor man or the man in the street or the man who's trying to pay his bills, got his 9 to 5, is going to have to pay a lot more, because we see now that air traveling is going up anyway. You know what I mean? A lot of people are not going anywhere. So that is definitely going to go up. You know what I mean? So, wow. I'm sorry. It's a little bit of a bad news today. Don't worry. I'm gonna find something to cheer you up later. As I say, the program is sponsored by Break Tru Tv at gmail.com. Also, the Reggae Jam Jerk Center. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. As I say, we need you to do this so we can make the channel better. And you can subscribe to the channel, and we can give you. This is actually a black run. You know what I mean? African Caribbean run. You know what I mean? TV company. So if you subscribe, you know what I mean? There's not many of us around. So if you subscribe, you know what I mean? We'll be able to take it a little bit further. You know what I mean? With our production and all the rest of it that we do. You know what I mean? So thanks, son. Thank you very much for that. So, you know what I say? When I come to this one, I say, Jamaica. Jamaica. Jump some news from the Jamaica Information Service. PM, the Most Honorable Andrew Honeys. He's announced different times for the curfew. And from weekdays, um, you will have to go into a curfew from 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. Yes? And that's weekdays. On the weekend will be from 8 p.m. on Saturday and 2 p.m. on Sunday. And that will end at 5 a.m. the following morning. So Mr. Honus there is not he's not joking. He wants this thing to stop. You know what I mean? So well, I gotta say, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, because you see people running around doing this and running around doing that, and you don't know what's going on. I always say something's going on, you don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? So you gotta deal with it. The other one is now a third wave of COVID is sweeping on the continent of Africa. Now, they've also run out of vaccine, and it's gridlock where vaccine is concerned. They cannot get vaccine. Now, this is annoying because Africa, I'm going to say it, Africa, the continent of Africa, is one of the richest places in the world. Why have I said that? Because they've got all the minerals in the world. They've got gold, they've got platinum, they've got copper, they've got the lots. You know what I mean? They've got oil. And still the continent of Africa, up until this day, they've exploited so much and taken so much out of Africa. And they're now struggling to get vaccine. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? They can't get it. And we hope that's going to change very, very soon. And this is a report by The Guardian. I haven't made this up myself. You know what I mean? So, and we hope it's going to change, because for one of the richest countries in the world, I know somebody going to look up and say, what? They've gone to your history and check it out. They've got everything there. I mean, that's why South Africa went on for so long, because everything was in South Africa and they used it. When Africa is going, every motor car company in the world was building cars in Africa, because of cheap labor and the materials they had. I'm gonna move on to I'm gonna move on. We move on to sports. Sports. Now, one of my favorite athletes, Mo Farah, Olympic. Is it Olympic 2020? Now I haven't made a mistake here, because I haven't made a mistake, because what they do, they call the 2020 from last year, they call it 2020 this year. So what they call him, Tokyo 2020, right? So he's in a bit of a dilemma to qualify for the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. Now, you would think, why don't they call it 2021? Because they never had one in 2020. So they still call 2021 the 2020 Olympics. Are you confused? You think they just call it 2021? Well, yeah. Anyway, as I say, Bo is in a bit of a dilemma, because he didn't qualify, but because he has a bit of an ankle injury. You know what I mean? But I'm sure he will get in there. You know what I mean? He will get in there, because Bo is that kind of guy. So he'll get into that one. And I dare say, you know what I mean? The guy there, he's a fantastic athlete. I dare say he will get into it and fun and be very good, you know what I mean? Because we would like to see him again, wouldn't we? We would like to see him again, yeah. Right, so, I'm going to move on again. The no, this is hard to say. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix, yes. I haven't written that one out properly yet. But don't forget, this is a live stream, so Sergio Perez won the motor race. And second was Sebastian Vettel. Now, Sebastian Vettel hasn't been on the podium for ages, you know what I mean? And also Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly came third. Pierre Gasly hasn't been on the podium for such a long time, you know what I mean? And I don't know what Lewis was doing. Lewis ran off the track. So Lewis Hamilton, how can you run off the track, Lewis? You're a sir. No, I'm playing. Lewis Hamilton run off the track, you know, and Max Verstappen, you know what I mean? Max Verstappen, he lost. He had a blowout. So he he had problems with the tire, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I really, really, really don't know. So as I say, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're sponsored by the ACMC New Style Radio 98.7 FM. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to get your reggae jerk joint chicken. Yeah. Marvelous, marvelous. So get in touch with us, get in touch. And don't forget, we do live streaming, we do weddings, we do photographs, we do whatever you want. We will cater for it. So we're a small company, but we are growing all the time. So get in touch with us. And if you want music production, we do music production here as well. Whatever you need to do, or whatever you need to get, just get in touch with us. We take photographs, we do live stream of funeral, the Reggae Jam Jam Jerk Center, all that sort of stuff. We cater for, and prices are very reasonable. You know what I mean? So do get in touch with us. Yeah. And as I say, this is an African Caribbean network. You know what I mean? And as I said, there's not many of us so we constantly need your support in helping us in going forward. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So I'll move on to entertainment. Entertainment. Well, now this, I don't know what is going on. Now, one of my legend. I love this man. You know what I mean? I love his music. Bunny Wailer. Bunny Wailer has not been buried yet. But however, he'll be buried the 16th of June. He'll be buried at a place called Dreamland Farm. I think they probably named that after, because you remember he had a song called Dreamland, isn't it? So he'll be buried at a place called Dreamland Farm. That's on the border of St. Thomas and Portland. It is actually a 142-acre site. So we hope they'll finally put his to rest. You know what I mean? For a legend like that, has it taken so long to bury him? I think there was a lot of politics and there's this and that and all kinds of things that happens, you know what I mean? It takes you don't expect that. You don't expect such a legend, you know what I mean? You would have think things would have been sorted out a long, long time ago. You know, and I'm so sort of disappointed with that Bunny, because the Blackheart man, I call him, you know, the Blackheart man. Oh, dear me. Battering down the center. You know what I mean? Jesus, Mr. Classic shoes, you know what I mean? If you ever check out the album, the Blackheart man album, classic album, you know what I mean? Rest in peace, Mr. Weller. Rest in peace. Wow. And now, this is something that's interesting. Have you seen my photographs? Does anybody remember this group? By the rivers of Babylon. Copyrights. Gotta be careful with copyrights. Now, Boniam, that's what I remember being Boniam. Boniam, 1978 song is back in the charts. Rah, rah, Rasputin jumping up the lemon tree. I don't know the rest. Well, that song is back, and it's on the... It's back in the charts. It's back in the UK trend charts. And it's also, I think it was #1 last week. And it's also on the American Billboard charts. 43 years that song came out. 43 years. But I gotta say, you know, I remember many years ago, I was actually, when I was probably, I don't know how I was, little baby. You can remember these things. Because I know this song was covered before. I know the By the Rivers of Babylon has been covered before, and it coming from like our generation, you know what I mean, from that sort of stuff, like, I know the Bible. And I recall, I was lying, I was a little guy, I must have been, I don't remember how old I was, and I was lying, and I heard the By the Rivers of Babylon song. My days, and I thought, man, this is going to be a very, very big hit. And it became a massive hit. And the other thing I want to say about Boniam, the lead singer, Maisie is one of the most underrated singer in the UK, has ever been one of the most underrated singer in the UK. Because Maisie is very good. And what's good about Mary is the way she's, because the rest of Boniam, they're dancers. The rest of, no disrespect to any of the artists in that group, but the rest of them are dancers. But Maisie is the one who carried that group. And, you know, I think she has been one of the most underrated artists over the years, even that period of time, the 70s, 80s, and 90s when they was going, you know what I mean, to whoever came out of the UK. And I think that was actually put together by a German guy, you know what I mean. The band was actually put together by I can't remember his name is, I don't want to say the wrong name, possibly Frank Faraday, you know what I mean. And It's just one of those things. But it's good to see them. It'd be good to see them. We don't have top of the pops anymore in the UK. It'd be good to see them though. Rah, rah, Rasputin. Love it. Oh, dear me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll keep telling you that. You know what I mean? As I said, we are a small company, and we need your help to move forward. This is an African Caribbean network. Break Tru TV is an African Caribbean network television station. And I say we do a lot of stuff here, you know what I mean? And so you can always, you know what I mean, whatever you like, get in touch with us and see if you can, you know, help us to improve the station, you know what I mean? And don't forget to share, you know what I mean, to share the live stream as well. You know what I mean? This live stream is going out now. You can share it now. Just go down it and share it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I gotta tell you now, did I talk about the weather? Did I talk about the weather today? Because the weather in the UK, you know, is hot. It's hot. It's hot. You know, you see this? I don't go with short sleeves very often. In fact, I don't go with t-shirt very often. Even though I'm sitting in the studio now. But it's been hot this week. It's been marvelous. It's been beautiful. And I love it when that is. Because I love being outdoors anyway. I'm an outdoor person. I love being outdoor. And it's marvelous. So it's a good time. It's a good time. And we say summer is finally here in the UK. Because sometimes it gets so cold and so summer has finally arrived in the UK. And it's brilliant. And also somebody say, what am I talking about hot? You know what hot means? I know, and I'm talking about the one you wear, all right? I mean, the weather. Wow. Now, my rants. I mean, this is what the program is all about today. So, my rants. Got a couple of rants today, but I want to start with those drivers on the road. I'm not going to get too deep this week. I'm going to go the drivers on the road. Why does people drive like that on the road? You got some crazy driving on the road. Look at some of the accidents they cause. Now, the most common cause of accidents on the road: failure to look properly, right? Failure to judge another person's path and speed. Being reckless, in a hurry, lose control, drink driving. 247,400 people been killed or injured seriously in an accident, according to the police report. That was June, ending 2020. 5 people die every day or loss of serious injury. So, why does people do it? Have you all got to send you all back to school again? Because you know what? I see some people driving on the road, and they're ridiculous. I mean, only weekend I was doing another show, and I actually was reading out at a junction in Birmingham, a place called Sparkhill Highgate. They had a massive accident there. It's a junction. You're not supposed to have a junction. Yeah, an accident there. Had a massive accident there. A couple of people got killed. Also, another accident take place at a place called Fox Hollies in Acox Green. A lady died there. What is the matter with people out the way they drive? I recall, a couple of years ago, I was in my house, and I heard this car go boom. It was a BMW, and I thought something has come through my wall. When I went outside, the car was going. No, well, we drive on the left in England, yeah. So, the car was going down. The car was going down, right? And the bus was coming up. So, this is the way the car was going down. He's supposed to be on this side of the road, right? The car was going down. He's supposed to be on this side of the road, and the bus is on this side of the road going up. And you know what? The car write the bus off. The bus ended up on this side of the road, and the car ended up on that side of the road. The bus was a write-off. How can a BMW write off a bus? You also, as well as that, you have some people when they drive up the road. So you drive on the left. So you have got the left. The left you can go straight on. If it's signposted, some on the left you can go straight on, and then you can turn left because sometimes there's an arrow in the road, right? Then there's a middle lane, You can go straight on, right? If you're going straight on. Now there's a right-hand lane of the junction. You go to the junction, and there's a right-hand lane. It's marked. You can turn left, right. You're going right. You can turn right. Now, what does happen is these people, some of these nutters, idiots, what? Shall I say so? Some of these nutters, idiot, but I can't even say the other word. I don't want to say the other word. Some of these nutters, what they do then? They come in the right-hand side of the road, right? And they come in the right, and they're not turning. What they do then? You're here, and they cut straight into you like that. Cut you up, and they're gone. Just because they cannot wait. That is carelessness. That is total carelessness, and it shouldn't happen. You know, I prefer it. I prefer it back in the day when when people like the police officer used to be there when there was an accident. You know what I mean? Or there to help you what was an accident. But all that's changed now. You know what I mean? Everything is through insurance and this and that, and I don't think they actually come unless somebody's killed. But I much prefer it when the police. I guess they got a lot of things to do anyway. You know what I mean? But I much prefer it when police used to come and there was an accident and they come and sort it out, because some of these people they just come and cause the bloody accident, and your insurance goes up, and nothing ever happens. So you end up paying and all that. But all I gotta say is that people has to be more mindful and more responsible on the road, because and there's a certain group of people. There's a certain group of people. Say it again, Carl. There's a certain group of people, when you see them driving, them is idiots. A lot of them is idiots. A lot of them is idiots. And I says, I hope things get better, because I don't know where. And we've had a COVID, so I don't know why they're driving like that. And I'm not gonna use the excuse of saying, oh, they forget how to drive. You know, it's B. You know what I mean? It's bullshit. I'm not gonna use the excuse and say that it's because of coding they forget to do it. It's bullshit. I heard some people use that excuse. You need to drive. You don't need to drive properly and fix up on the same. And children, even when sometimes you go by the schools and the way they're driving, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you know what I mean? I wish. Yeah, the other thing as well I don't like. This is my final point in driving. The other thing I don't like is like, you go to a junction and people is on their text moving. Move! They're texting on the phone and they do and they that. And you think, why are you texting on your phone? No. If I was in charge, if I had the rules, I'll tell you what I'd do. If I had the rules, I'll tell you what I'd do with people on the phone and driving. You know what I'd do? If it's not hand-free, you know what I'd do? And I think I said this to a colleague of mine. I'll take the car off them. Somebody gonna pick me up on this side of that. I'll take the car off them. And you know what they have to do? They have to pay £1,000 or £2,000 to get the car back. You'd see how quick they stop messing around when they're driving on the phone like that. I'm not gonna say anything else, right? Moving on. I'm not gonna say anything else. Now this is something I really, really wanted to rant big about, but I can't rant about it really, because the case is still the case has to go to trial. You know, this case has to go to trial. So I can't really say a lot about this, but I'm gonna give you a snippet. Now, Dijon Reed was allegedly racially abused before he was knifed. Terrible thing to say for a 14-year-old boy. Now, a 16-year-old is involved, allegedly, according to some of the things you read in the paper. A 14-year-old is involved, some of the things you read in the paper. A 30-year-old man is involved, right? And a 35-year-old person is involved, right? Now, this is all I'm going to say. This is all I'm going to ask them. So, a young boy, a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old having a squabble, whatever they're having a squabble, right? Or something happened. You as a big man, a big 35-year-old, a big 30-year-old man, why are you getting involved in it? Why don't you stop it? They're teenagers, they're a lot younger than you. All you have to do is say, stop it. Why you get involved? Why you get involved and get yourself into having to go to court now to be charged or probably go to prison for being allegedly, I gotta say allegedly at the moment, for allegedly murdering this young guy? You're a big man. If you see something happen between a couple of teenagers, that's how it should be, you know. You should stop it. You shouldn't get involved. The guy should never have lost his life, regardless of what's going on. Because someone who's not big man, who's still like a damn little boy, who walk like a boy, and who need to shape up. That's all I'm gonna say about that one. Because, as I say, that case has got to go to court. So that's all I'm gonna say about it. I'm not gonna say anything else. As I say, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as I say, don't forget to share the program. You know what I mean? And you can share the program now to your friends and your colleagues. And this is a live stream program coming straight from the heart of Birmingham. Yeah. Moving on. Now, this is another interesting one now. In 2020, I'll take a minute. No, I'm not going to take a minute. In 2020, why are still people bleaching them skin? Have a look at the photograph on the screen. I think some photograph will come up on the screen. At the top, I think the one is Vice Cartel. Why in 2021 people are still bleaching them skin? I haven't worked it out. And are you bleaching yourself now because it's quite hot in England? Or what are you doing now because you get the suntan now? What are you doing? I mean, I can deal with the fact that people has to bleach themselves because of the because of medical condition. If you got medical condition, it's a different ball game. Or you start changing your whole image. You know what I mean? Why in 2021? Aren't you proud of yourself? And I'm trying to think, where does this come from? Where does it come from? Does it go back to the days of slavery where the so-called slave master would take one of the slaves, you know what I mean, and get her pregnant, so the lighter skin start coming, and then later on she probably will be able to sit at master's table and have things with master, and it works the other way for the men as well, because one of the slave master women would probably take a man, you know what I mean, one of the African men, and have sex with them, yeah, and then they get a light-skinned person, and that light-skinned person will be able to, you know what I mean, to come and sit at master's table. Is that where it's coming from? And there's still people obsessed with color of the lightness of the skin. And moving forward, let's come right up to date. Let's come right up. Does the lightness of your skin, does it allow you to get on more? Because we've seen these videos, you know, we see these films. We see a lot of light-skinned people in these videos and these films and all the rest of it, you know what I mean? On television, in this video, a lot of, I mean, you hardly ever see the darker skin of people, you know what I mean? So what is going on there? What is going on in the world, you know what I mean? And I say, if you got something that sort of, that if you got a skin condition or whatever, it's different. We see well-known artists. I mean, I'm not gonna name any artist because they've got a lot of money. we have something there. I've seen well-known artists, well-known rap artists. There's one lady, you know what I mean? There's one lady up there. All I can say is that her color is like her color has been lightened so much over the years. You know what I mean? Or also in the office or in the workplace. Do you get on better if your complexion is a bit lighter? You know what I mean? And I don't know what it is. And you hear people say, oh, I'm proud of being black. I'm black and I'm proud. I'm black and I'm proud. But if I was to say to you, you're black, what would you do? Let me be devil here now. What would you do? If I was to say to a black person, you're black, just like that, I bet he or she would say to me, you're not black. No, somebody said to me, I'd embrace it straight away. I'm loving it. So you see what's going on here. You see what's going on here. You know what I mean? You see what's going on. So it's a weird one. The other thing I've noticed as well, we've got really dark complexion ladies. Love them. Really dark complexion ladies. And what they do, they've got this makeup that makes them a lot lighter. That's what, you know what I mean? Now they got this makeup that makes them a lot lighter, and I don't know what is going on there. You know what I mean? I don't really know what it is. And it worries me because it influenced the younger generation. I'm not saying, you know what I mean? It influenced me. And we see some of these top stars, we really big top star. And some of them got very light skin. And you wonder, if I know they're very talented, and I'm not going to take talent from anybody because talent is talented, but you wonder the status where they are, would they get there if their skin wasn't light? Yeah. I've also seen a clip a couple of weeks ago on a television program where they were saying that a couple of artists was saying they could get on better. The promoters or the manager, whoever runs the organization or whoever, you know what I mean, what I say, run them. Whoever, I call them run. Yes, let's call it run for now. Whoever runs their organization, they would get on better. They was actually encouraged to lighten their skin. And I say I don't know where it goes back to. I don't know where it's coming from. And it's how do we get around it? How do we get around it? You know what I mean? And I say for the younger people now. I mean I seen the younger people and some of them the things they put on their face and the way even the very what I call dark. I love them. Lyrical dark skinned people or whatever. You know what I mean? They put all this enlightenment and all this sort of stuff to put on their face. You know what I mean? And it's ridiculous. Anyway, I've done the lighting thing now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I've got to talk to somebody on the phone now. Who wants to chat. He wants to tell me what's on his mind, and I'm gonna try and see if he's there. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing? Can you hear me well?
Yes, thank you, Carl. Yeah.
I can hear you well. Good, good. So, tell me your name, sir. Tell me your name.
Yeah, Carl, my name is Tom Oscar.
Okay, Tom. How you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Okay, okay. And what do you do, Tom?
Yeah, I run a pastry business based in the West Midlands.
Yeah.
A company called Tasty Pastry. We
Yep.
make the finest Caribbean patties in the country.
Okay. Sounds lovely. Sounds lovely. Sounds lovely. Um, what's on your mind? Tell me what's on your mind. Let's get into it. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm just ringing to find out why there aren't as many black entrepreneurs and business people in this country as we've been here a lot longer than most of the other cultured people here. And I want to know why, there isn't as many as back in the day when my parents come. We had a lot more businesses then
Yeah.
than we have now. Obviously, it's been highlighted about black businesses and Black Lives Matter, but we need more people to be stepping up and following in our parents' footsteps. And if they have parents that have businesses, why they're not getting into the businesses themselves rather than working for somebody else and letting the business die and somebody else takes it over, or another company comes in and steps in, and that's one of our cultures gone.
That's right. I totally agree with that. I totally agree. Before Karen, where are you from? Where are your parents from?
My parents from Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah, St. Anne's in Jamaica. My parents were from. Yeah.
Okay, marvelous. I hail from St. Anne's as well. Believe it or not,
Okay.
I hail from a part of me hail from a place in St. Anne's called Inverness.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. And there's something I don't even want to say about business. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to sort of offend anyone. Where it's, you know what I mean. And you're totally right. Where black business is not stepping up. You know what I mean? And doing what they should do. Because we've been here, as you said, we've been here a very very long time.
Yeah.
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 And I don't know I don't know what is happening. You know what I mean? And but have you got any answers? Because you sound you're a very intelligent man, so you probably have some answers as well. What do you think should happen?
Okay. Right. I mean, the thing is, we've got a lot of very intelligent black people
Yeah, of
in our
course.
community,
Yes.
and they've got the expertise to start their own businesses, whether they're scared to invest in the business or whether they've tried to get funding and finance for the business and not been able to achieve it, so their businesses die off, or whether they don't get the opportunities that they had. And I'll give an example. When my mum was here and she wanted to run an off license down the road from where we lived.
Okay.
It would have been a very profitable venture for her to go into,
Yeah.
and the bank turned it down and said you haven't got collateral, and the bank manager said, you know, if he was Asian, yeah, we would consider it more.
Yes, I've heard.
So,
I've
you
heard.
know,
I've heard that. I've heard that similar line you just said. If you're Asian, we'll consider it more. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it's the thing is like, you know, even now,
Yeah.
we're not treated fairly. It's hard to run a business anyway,
Yeah.
and you know, if you apply for certain grants or fundings or courses to go on to, or university degrees or what have you, you're set up to fail. You know, they do the good talk like, you know, we had a very high response, and at this point you haven't been successful,
Yeah.
you know, in going on this particular course that might, you know, catapult your business forward. So why aren't they doing it? And then when you try to quiz them about how many of the black businesses,
Yeah.
African, Caribbean businesses applied for the course, we're not limited to say because of the Data Protection Act, and so therefore you'll never know.
You'll never know.
If you've turned, no, you'll never know if you turned down for any particular reason other than the colour of your skin, or they look and want, you know, English businesses to be going forward to hold back black businesses. It happens with banks as well. Banks are unlikely to lend to Afro-Caribbean businesses. I mean, obviously, with Asian as well, they get that as well. That's why they stick together and work together as a collective.
Yeah.
Whereas black people,
They don't work together as a collective.
Don't do that. No, they don't. And you know, if we had the same mentality as when we first came over to this country, everybody lived in the same house and worked together to succeed and buy houses, because you know it was difficult in the 60s to buy a house, let alone rent. So they found a way of doing it and working together. Where today, I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm saying that they've lost.
Yeah, carry on. I'm listening. Good point.
They've lost that sense of solidarity and working together to push their businesses forward. And what I mean by that is, say I was going to start a business, and you know, you've heard it. So-called people say, yeah. Why aren't there any black businesses doing this hard food and stores and so forth and so on? You know, and you know, they cry out for that to happen. And say you set the store up, these same people don't support you.
That's right. That's right.
You know?
I remember when I came, because I wasn't born in the UK. I remember when I came to the UK, there was a lot of shops that was doing very, very good. You know what I mean? Black businesses. You know what I mean? And I used to. There was a very, very big shop that sell all the Caribbean food that you needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they was doing so well, and we become friends. You know what I mean? I mean, even I recall when where I lived. I recall you remember Russell's?
Yes, I know.
Well, I recall when I came here very young. My I think the manager and Russell's and a couple of guys was walking down the road. If you see where I live at the time now, you can work out where I live at the time. There was walking down the road, one of the side roads, and then he knocks on the door and he says, "We are gonna start a Caribbean business. Would you be buying from us? But would you be interested in us?" He was scouting, and I remember my mother says, "Yes, fantastic, great, we'd love that." You know what I mean? And that business actually set up. I mean, I don't know what's happened to that business because I don't think it's owned anymore by black people anyway, African Caribbean people anymore. You know what I mean? And that seems to be happening all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. What it is about Caribbean people and us, and comparing to say African Americans.
Well,
what have they got that we are lacking?
Okay, the African American black people, it's a different mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, obviously Jamaica's very, very close to Florida coast, so
That's
you
right.
know, you can get there, in an hour on a plane.
90 miles.
Yeah, that's right. There's more probably black business owners in America than anywhere else in the world. And I mean, yes, you can turn around and say that there is more black people over there because the majority is black.
Mm.
But you know, the country has a lot to answer for racism, but America has a massive answer for racism because they're the biggest.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, they're the biggest people out there that are racist, and just pretend that they're not. So you've got to look at it. But in terms of sheer numbers, if you're looking at averages, and say 10 black businesses open and one succeed,
Yeah,
you know, and over here 100 open and one succeed,
yeah.
you've got the sheer numbers, which means that's why they're most. But what's happening along the way,
Mm-hmm.
they've had to adapt and work their way through.
Yeah.
Like they were brought there from Africa, so they are there.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
there are more, like I say, they've been there almost as long as the, except for the Native Americans,
Yeah.
as long as the white
Yes, yes.
Americans.
Yeah,
Where over here,
yeah.
you know, we've been here for around about 200 years, probably a bit longer, depending on where you go to, where you look at, and what was happening.
That's right.
But you know, when they abolished slavery in the 1800s,
Mm.
they wasn't given a strip of land, nothing.
That's
So
right.
what happened is they were forced back into slavery because they had nowhere to live, no clothes on their back other than what they had, and they were forced back into working for somebody for peanuts because they had nowhere to live, nowhere to go. Yes, they were free, but they were slaves still.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So they had to forge a way,
Mm-hmm.
like the pioneers.
Yeah.
They had to forge a way to survive in that country, and they didn't have it easy because there's still been a lot of races, even up to the 1600s.
That's right.
1960s.
That's right.
Late 1970s. It's still been, you know, still racism is right there.
Yeah.
And you know, just by the police alone, you can see that they are going there so that they can have control and live off where their forefathers went. But the fact that America is a land of opportunity,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
is
yeah.
A business culture, just like there's more black people over in America that have businesses, there's more women in America that have businesses than anywhere else in the world.
That's right.
So
That's
the
right.
opportunities are there.
Are there?
And
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
if one person tries it and he fails with it, he's not going to get shined on and say, hey, mate, put your basket high and you can reach it, or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So they will say, come like, look, what's your next venture going to be? And so therefore they have more of a community spirit when it comes
To that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But in this country didn't we have a community that was, you know what I mean, that was, you know, as I say, you said it in the early days. And what I mean, let me just slightly. Do you think, I mean, like when we came here, all of us came here, we was West Indians, right?
Yeah.
And then we went on to something else. Do you think part of our problem is that instead of we sort of knock our cultures on the head of what we learn or how we should go about business? Do you think we suddenly all become, well, they'll say, oh, we're British, and then we become Europeans? I sometimes think that is part of our problem. We throw our culture, we throw that's a lot of the language we know that we came here with, and then and a lot of us came here that saying we was gonna go back anyway. You know what I mean? So we didn't sort of really get into business as how we should. And then we suddenly say, okay, we're not West Indian. Some of us say we're not all of us. Some of us say, oh, we're not West Indian anymore. We're British because we was being called West Indian all the time. And then suddenly we become Europeans.
Yeah.
So we throw away all that we've sort of tried to accomplish. We don't hold on to anything. Some of us, not all of us. You know what I mean?
Okay, there is that. But when you look at it, I can take it from this way then.
Yeah.
Asian family, a lot of the successful ones over here
Yeah.
push their children into doctors, you know, chemists, dentists,
Scientists, yeah.
you know, solicitors, scientists, and they want their kids to achieve and go to university.
Yeah.
If you look at the ratio of people going to university, 17% of working class people going to working class people go to university. The other 83% are upper class, middle class, or foreign students.
Yeah.
So when you work that out and you break it down to 17%, how many percentage of of black people are going to university. Now, with the same racism or looking at the cultures and looking at how you do things
Yeah.
depends on how you develop. Now, they say if you start off in a disadvantaged situation in your life,
Yeah.
then it's much harder for you to succeed in your life unless you are one of these go-getters that's not going to be held down by anything. Now, if you look at it from this way, if you go to a good school,
Yeah.
and you're in a good area where you live in a good area,
Yeah.
then therefore the schools are going to be funded better and you can have a better education.
Yeah.
And if you have a better education, therefore you'll have more of a knowledge and you'll get better qualifications, and that allows you to go on to university. This is where the culture works in and goes back to the classes set in this country.
Okay.
Now, if you go to university, you've got a better chance of getting a better job. And higher paid job and paid money.
That's right.
Then you can buy a house. So you buy a house in an affluent area where the schools are better, and then the whole thing starts again.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, when they came over here, the government stuck all the black people in a certain area, saying, look, culture, keep you all together. This is what you're going to do, and so forth and so on. But what they did, they created segregation, and a lot of our parents were very church
orientated,
church
yeah. Church
orientated,
people, yeah.
and so they ruled the roots with an iron fist, and no man do this and no girl do that, and so forth.
Yeah.
When the girls or the men were of age, they left, and some of them got pregnant and did their own thing. Now, in the 70s, you couldn't have your partner staying with you because it meant that you would lose your benefit and you get thrown out of your home. So you had a lot of
You commit a sin. You commit a sin.
Exactly.
Put
So you had a,
it in straight here. You commit a sin. We don't want you to commit no sin in our house. Yeah.
That's right. So you got thrown out and you got left in this council. You had a house of flat by the government,
Yeah.
and you couldn't bring nobody, and that meant the children grew up, especially the male children grew up without a father figure.
Yeah.
That meant that they were the father figure of the house, and when the mother was to get a boyfriend or whatever, it's no man's coming to this yard, you know what I mean?
That's
and
right.
This is where the postcode wars come into it, because they're saying, I'm the man of the house, this is my area, and then it goes out into the streets where they're saying, this is my area, no one comes in. But, like I said, it's a thing where if you don't succeed and grow and develop, you can't expect that the next generation is going to do the same.
I see your point.
The Jewish people don't look at success as their children. They look at success as their children's children.
Yeah.
If their children are successful, that's what they class as success.
Well,
we have to have the same mindset. Like I said, why are there so little black businesses? What are the barriers for them to enter into? What are their fears and their objections?
Yeah.
Why don't our people buy from black businesses to promote them? Who do we want to sell to? And family impact. But there's so many different levels or different routes you can go down on that.
Yeah.
If you're going to set up a business, don't just make it predominantly for black.
I totally. You have to sell it to everybody, because we
You
buy
gotta
from
sell it to
we buy from everybody, don't we?
Yeah.
We buy from everybody. So all this thing about, we buy stuff from everybody. So we should be able to market our product to sell to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're going to open a food store, for argument's sake, if you're going to open a food store, cater for the English. That's your biggest market. 87% of the population in this country are white, so cater for the English, because that is what is going to make you rich or make you successful. Because our own should always come to us anyway.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be selling onwards, you've got to have a different mindset.
That's
and,
right.
And you've got to have
That's right.
You've got to think, when you're in Rome, think like the Roman. You know what I mean?
Tom,
So
I totally agree with you. Absolutely wonderful. I totally agree with you. My time, it's been brilliant. My time is sort of running, so you know what I mean. But
Okay. Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your business and
Yeah.
sell us your business.
Yeah, we sell Caribbean patties. We're based in Winston Green.
Yeah.
A company called Tasty Pastry. We also have a shop down on the Wellington Road called a patty shop. They have like the closest patties outside of Jamaica, which that's what a lot of people tell us anyway, which is good.
Marvelous, marvelous.
We make flaky pastry. We've been doing it for some time, and we are hoping to expand and go into different markets at a later date. I mean, there's lots of Caribbean patty companies in Birmingham, let
Yeah.
alone the country.
Well,
But
Karen.
but we expire. We cater for with the best pastry that we can do and the best fillings. So therefore, we can sell a more prestige patty.
Does it
Uh, uh,
does it taste nice?
oh, it tastes
Well,
brilliant. I mean, I'm biased, but you'll have to come and try it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, because I've got the postcode and I've got the I've got where you are. I'm definitely,
Yeah.
definitely gonna see you, because I love my patty, but I haven't tasted one. I haven't tasted one like the one I tasted in Jamaica. I've,
Well, come down.
I've come
Well,
close. I've come close. You know what I mean? I've come very, very close, but not. You walk uptown and you pop into a place, uptown or
Yeah.
downtown, and you pop into a patty shop, and it's hot there. You just take this patty, and it's just so nice and lovely.
Yeah,
I want to.
that's our patty.
Thank you. So I'm
Yeah.
coming there. I'm coming there
Yeah,
to definitely buy
well,
one.
we're based at Great Western Close, which is off the Handsworth New Road, B18 4QF.
Okay.
And telephone number 01215071717. I'm plugging myself here,
Yeah,
so
okay.
you can come and try our patty and tell me what you think. Obviously, like I said, I'm biased, so you have to try it yourself and then see what I'm talking about.
Tell us the number again.
0121 507 1717. It's an easy number to remember.
Yeah.
And Great Western Close, 3840 Great Western Close, Birmingham, B18 4Q for Quebec, F for Foxtrot.
Okay. And what are your opening times?
Okay, we're open 10 o'clock until 3 Monday to Thursday, and 10 till 4 on a Friday, and 10:30 till 1 o'clock on a Saturday. Sunday we close.
Marvelous, Tom. Marvelous. Let me say thank you for coming and telling us all about what's on your mind. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Carl. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Okay,
And
okay.
we'll definitely chat to you again in the near future, because I love your argument, but I say because this space of time, we're running out of
Yeah.
time. So let me say thank you very much. Yes. Okay. Bye bye.
Brilliant, thanks.
Bye.
Okay then.
Bye.
Bye.
Want to say thank you once again for tuning in. Your program is called What's on Your Mind. You can get in touch with us. We're here, and get in touch with Break Tru Tv at gmail.com. Our sponsors on our telephone number 07872443765. Our sponsor is the ACMC. Also, New Star Radio 98.7 FM. The Reggae Jam Jerk Center. Please get in touch with us. We do live stream for your videos, for your funerals, for your parties. If you got a parties, video production, weddings, funerals, we do the works. Get in touch with us. And you can see it's all coming up on our screen. Let me say, Break Tru Music Studio and Recording Mix. You can, if you want to make a tune, if you want to make an advert, we are here to help you. Yeah. New Star Radio 98.7 FM is our sponsor. Get in touch with us. BreakTruTV at gmail.com. We are out. You have been watching What's on Your Mind. We'll be back here next week. All being well. God bless you. Thank you.